We used to sell, yeah, we used to sell that stuff. We used to sell stuff for marketing in New York.
How are you tonight? Ducky.
And that was it. We had a guy that had a commercial license, and we would sell it to him.
Oh, that's cool.
But then they started getting crazy on the sizes and all this other stuff. And they just don't give a fuck. One fish. Before it was like 16 or 18 inches, and we got like 10 fish. There was no limits. Used to go to Boston, fish Quincy Bay,
Yep.
fill up feed sacks from a lot of
So the bathtub.
Huh?
He's full of bathtub.
from there.
That'd be all shore drag uniform, and I'd be out back the yard catching right up.
You're not raise your hand.
Well, somebody's attention, I just want to shout out, does anybody know the new development guy, just above north of, Tequila? Is that Ira Goodwin? I-K-E?
Yeah.
I'm so hard of hearing, I couldn't tell what he was saying, thank you. It's this thing. Yeah.
Did you hit play?
What did you?
Okay, I saw the note gone, so I'm like, great. Okay. I just want to make sure, because I read the note that it started, or. So are we supposed to check to make sure it's working, or?
It says you're live,
Okay.
if it shows you.
Yeah,
It does.
you guys are too far away, so we're probably gonna move it closer
Oh,
to get the
no,
microphone.
it can look at you guys. We're good.
Well, everybody likes a silhouette, you wanna give it a
That's the
shot?
way I feel.
Don't you dare move that. You sit your butt back down.
I outrank you, I'm sorry, by age only.
Yeah, we're going back there. Steve and I are going in the back row.
Backdoor angels. I'm gonna make sure we get Jennifer, because I know she loves it when she's on camera. That's good, that'll get us all.
Playing golf.
Yeah, we could have used cut fire whatever they were.
I see. It looks like the firewood's done though. Is it done?
It's hard to tell you, you're out back, right? You live out back, right?
His firewood is in the field. So you can tell when it's stacked neatly, he's done.
Just gotta clean up the mess. Inland Park. Well, you say the back.
Yep, it does. Oh, yes, instant.
The bags of pine cones, the ball, get the slab back on the trees. That's what we start on. We don't use human, and seed it and spin it up. Why?
It's gonna be short and sweet. Did anybody not see the late meeting notes that I sent out just an hour ago? I'm sorry for the.
I think I just see him.
I'll read them in a minute. I'm kind of AD sometimes, so it takes me off the focus. Plus, I've been under the weather late.
Well, we appreciate your hard work.
Well, it's a big undertaking for someone here in the theater. Put it on the TV, and it's like Ike Goodwin. What the hell did he just say? Or you speak softly. Some of us are very vocally enunciated, like Diane, everybody knows what you're saying, which is a great thing. Sometimes Borzelli will mumble, but he's got good hearing, and people out back obviously are always an issue, and that's what Wesley said last meeting. Hearing your kid, it's just, as a chairman, and you don't hear what people say when a lot of people are speaking. Like, I agree with you.
I did all my screaming raising 9 kids.
Pardon me?
I raised 9 kids, my screaming's over.
Jeez, man.
7 girls, 2 boys.
Lord, and you survived that?
7 girls was wrong.
Wesley had 3 and that was horrible for him.
All right, it's still 7 o'clock, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. And then we're gonna have Mr. Terrio read the minutes.
Meeting's adjourned.
No, it's not adjourned, we're just starting.
Town of Hartford Road Committee meeting for 12 August 2024. The meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. Members present were Wesley Brown, Al Bozelli, David Terrio, Jennifer Garrigan, Steve Ellsman, Diane de Blasio. Also in attendance were Kathleen Landry, Kathy Lowe, Maureen Nason, Jason Landry, Ken Violet, Cindy Violet, Chad Casey, Ike Goodman, with the late arrival of Jeremy Johnson and Brandon McNeil. The meeting commenced with the town clerk's disclosure of possible FEMA grants and locations. Mr. Al Bozelli remarked that some of these locations have already been repaired by town money taken away from other summer road funds designated for those locations. The priority to immediately repair damage from tropical rainstorm runoff created the need to repair what roads were presently impassable instead of road improvements designated elsewhere. The FEMA grant money will have to be sorted back to the roads that were debited because of this unexpected urgent repair on other roads. Wesley Brown asserted the chairman's role directly after the opening discussion and requested a vote to help expedite the meeting by closing the meeting to the end, and it was unanimously voted in agreement by all 5. Secretary Terrio proposed that the meeting of the 22 July 2024 Road Committee be accepted without an oracle rehash of what has already been published, and again, the vote was unanimously agreed upon. Chairman Wesley continued to old business and stated his desire to create a category of unfinished old and unfinished new for clarity purposes. Wesley stated that the present system categories didn't allow complaint status to be determined from a road committee perspective, and requested that the select board should somehow communicate acknowledgement on complaints that have been already resolved. Time is wasted on giving attention to complaints that have been previously resolved without a system to confirm that closed status of those complaints. Wesley further stated that he doesn't know if there is any old business pending or not right now. Al Bozelli remarked that even if we get complaints coming in right now, we can't go look at them until we get a Pratt Hill done. We are kind of in a stalemate here. And then when we have money coming in from FEMA that was previously pending, any FEMA road money that does come in needs to be prioritized. Allocating money for low priority, small jobs is not going to go out. We are going to determine as a committee what roads are going to be fixed. We are not going to jump from one small job to another. We will drive around and brainstorm together about specifics to be repaired, but we will not be talking to landowners. We will come back and advise the select board with an agenda. Al Bozelli and Steve Ellsman conversed about the subject, with Steve stating, I think we find the things that the community called upon, they're going to the select board to have fixed. Al concurred that some of them are major, that cost a lot of money. Small jobs are no problem, but it's up to the select board to decide that. Al Bozelli, talking further to Steve Ellsman, directed the conversation to culverts. I'm sure Pratt Hill. No, on Gurney Hill. Road maintenance decisions are difficult at times, but not all cut and dry. Steve Ellsman stating, people doing the highway getting big winter's coming on, so get stuff done. Al stated that he doesn't have anything against about Ben going out and doing the coal patch, but I'd really like to see him dig some of these holes out before putting the coal patch in. Kathy Lowe stated we already authorized Ben to put the coal patch out. Kathy also stated today they did that washout on Church Street. Wesley asked if that specifically was the one by the cemetery, and Kathy said yes. Wesley Brown moved on to new business and states that everyone knows that Alan Neal does not want to do the estimates of costs to do jobs. Therefore, we will have to put it out to bid. But before it goes to bid, there are some changes I want to make. Some of you have seen the written document I drew up, but I forgot to include that the riprap requirements need to be crushed rock and not round rock, and in the 4 to 6 inch size length. Also, riprap is recommended in the runoff corridors to the high water mark and a little bit beyond. Most importantly, every 30 or 40 feet down the downhill slopes, you place a berm across the runoff to slow the flow down and create a place to catch sediment. When the contractors are working on construction, there has to be temporary erosion control with fencing around the site to capture any material from going into the stream, lake, or anywhere else. Erosion control needs to be a priority. The Bear Lake Association and many other townsfolk are very concerned about erosion control. Wesley has also recalled that Alan McNeil mentioned a while back that Alan had contacted the state of Maine, and they went down and surveyed to determine what was going on with regards to erosion. And the state of Maine concluded that the state and town roads were not contributing as much to the sediment runoff as the brooks themselves that were being enlarged by heavy rainstorm runoff events that swell the banks and pull soil into the stream from the edges of the banks. The road committee has no authority and cannot deal with the issue of private land, stream, embankment erosion. Wesley also stated that the DEP should be contacted in the future to assist in culvert sizing and do the repair engineering design correctly to get the confinement of runoff silt and sand proper. The state also recommends getting rid of what is in the ditch, probably halfway down the slope, and for culverts, put in a significant berm just off the pavement and plant grass. The state claims this method is the best filter, and repeating this design all the way to the bottom is the best way to remove sediment before the runoff gets to be a big flow. Wesley stated that we want to make these improvements to road design, not just for vehicles, but equally as important to lake quality. Jennifer Garrison spoke up and said, can I just add to that? I think in the last 2 years, especially Western Maine, roads have been washed out, including bridges. And there are still roads in Brainsley that have not been repaired. Obviously, they need to fund FEMA with more money because we're probably not alone in this issue and probably contributed to some of it. Certainly, there is always room for improvement. Wesley agreed and stated that this road committee will continue to do all that can be done for conservation and preservation for the environment while maintaining road design and construction. Diane DeBasio spoke about an evaluation of Pratt Hill years ago that probably holds a lot of detailed information that should be reviewed for improvements. The Maine DOT was involved, and they can be contacted to evaluate our present road conditions for free and make recommendations to the town of Hartford on construction and design for best practices. Al Bozelli spoke up about Wesley doing a real good job on our action plan, but he wanted to add Hartford needs to be very specific when it comes to bids, detailing exact specifications desired for construction. Kathy Lowe stated, but none of us here are qualified to use bid specifications. Wesley stated, okay, but we've done them already. I was going through that whole Bible for the town, the section under roads, and found that it's quite detailed about all roads being built. I am assuming that verbally doesn't mean just new construction, but even on roads that you rebuild. This code book even specifies the width and thickness of the base and also the tar. Wesley also stated the code book specifications for ditching are vague. So Wesley recommended that we go put a bid out to the contract. Contract parameters will be both town code book guidelines and the current road committee specifications that are above and beyond the code book for ditching requirements. Borzelli summarized that we have enough to give the Board of Selectmen the information needed to request a bid package from contractors. Kathy Lowe stated that the bid committee will be one of the select board members, the road commissioner, and the road committee chairperson. Borzelli stated that he would like to have others like Wesley involved as advisory without Wesley having a vote. Jennifer stated that her only concern with Wesley is 3 weeks ago you had a contractor up on Pratt Hill that you walked through the hole and was interrupted by Al. That wasn't really a contract. Wesley finally stated that all he was looking is for some guidance from this person and another opinion on things Wesley may have overlooked. And this specialist did exactly point out issues Wesley had not thought of and added information Wesley was not sure of. Borzelli focused the conversation on getting the information and progress moving forward, and Diane asked, what? Are we going to discuss itemized bid stuff tonight to pass to the select board, or is this going to having the bid committee? Wesley responded that we will get the final description of our recommendations very quickly because we need to clarify our committee ditching specs. And Al spoke stating that we can give this report to the select board for the submission to the bid committee. Wesley spoke up and said the bid committee wanted to change things and could do so before submitting the bid committee results back to the select board for approval before posting the project to public contractors. Borzelli stated the editorial changes are minor and we will get it moving. After time restraint dialogue, Wesley stated that there is a catch-22 to this about getting the road done and paving it. If we don't pave it, which is the recommended process to let it set there, all that good gravel we've put on is going to be plowed into the ditch because I don't think BIM, our contractor, runs plow shoes, but I'm not sure. On dirt roads, you need plow shoes so the plow edge doesn't scrape the dirt off the top layer of subpavement. Borzelli next talked about how Green Acres Road was resurfaced with gravel last year and paved over in the same year, so best practice guidelines aren't always adhered to, and maybe we could repeat what has been done in the past to get by. Al said let's just move on, please. Wesley spoke up and said we have the option to pave this year or not and discuss the cons of pavement cracking when you have insufficient time for sub-pavement settling to occur before laying the asphalt. Dave Terrio spoke briefly about the exact gravel specifications on the upper steep section of Pratt Hill and clarification to the bid committee recommendations. Borzelli stated that Wesley has all those specs. They've also wanted to address the 4-foot and 7-foot culverts nearly side by side physically above the 95 Pratt Hill resident where the brook comes in. After discussion about previous state of Maine grant programs requiring matching funds, Dave informed the group that the municipal stream crossing program is just 2 years old and has none of the previous requirements that historical programs had beforehand. The feds in the state of Maine realize that tropical rain events are overwhelming Tropical rain events are overwhelming municipal budgets, and this special department of the Maine DEP was formed to facilitate this global warming phenomenon. Borzelli asked that we move on because we are getting ahead of ourselves. Much discussion was given to the decision to replace just the 4-foot culvert and not the 7-footer, involving pros and cons. From the audience came Ike Goodman that announced he and his wife purchased a development subdivision property just north of Camp Wakila. Borzelli commented that the design and construction of the landowner roadway going from Route 219 to the Bear Pond shoreline was completed in a very good manner. That was a good job. Mr. Goodwin did state that he had hired Maine Development on a consulting basis. Mainland Development recommended that any ditching required should be wider and deeper than expected because you want the velocity of the runoff as slow as possible. Also, Mr. Goodwin stated that in extreme rain events, you do not want that runoff water to rise and overtop the roads. Discussion turned to riprap before and also after the culvert. Mr. Goodwin also revealed that the road construction specs were 18 inches of crushed gravel and it was compacted. The final 6-inch surface layer was crushed gravel no larger than 2-inch fractured stones and also compacted as it was put down. Steve Elsman asked if Mr. Goodwin's contractors had given him any warranty for road construction, and the answer was no. The meeting got unscripted with Al Bozelli conversing to Wesley while Mr. Goodwin was still speaking, and the content of both simultaneous discussions was difficult to follow. Bozelli next hand motioned for Kathy Lowe to approach the committee table, joining the discussion between himself and Wesley. The content of the committee table was centered around the 7-foot culvert history and path forward with no clear immediate resolution. Mr. Bozelli explained this is a rough draft that we are going to submit to the select board. Steve Elsman asked the question, what happens to the budget money if nothing gets done? And the reply was the bid committee. Diane then wanted clarification that the road committee proposal was being directed at the bid committee or the select board. Bozelli answered that this is the next step being presented to move forward. Discussion revolved around the volume details, the product needed to complete the job, and it was concluded that the bid committee would dictate the total materials for the construction. Pavement requirements versus sub-pavement requirements were discussed. Bozelli talked about speaking previously with bid contractors and explaining to them how we want to have our ditches done, how we want our tar to be broken up, gravel to be put down, and culverts to be fixed. That gives contractors an idea on how to bid the job. Kathy Lowe asked, who's going to babysit them? With a little discussion before Steve Elsman asked Wesley, do you feel that it's going to be a while before that gets fixed to prevent any more erosion going into Little Bear? Steve restated the barrier runoff screens and hay bales recommended to minimize contamination runoff. Bozelli then stated that if we don't get it done this year, yes, we will put runoff barriers in place this fall, but our present goal is to accomplish the construction this year. More discussion pursued on runoff issues, and Kathy Lowe stated that some of the silt could possibly also be coming from Bear Mountain. Bozelli next pleaded that we get moving with this process, please. Get our recommendations to the bid committee for review. Wesley stated that the town code book requirements were 22 feet on base width and 18 feet on pavement width. We'll make the proposal changes and submit to the select board. Some discussion was focused on the brook above 95 Pratt Hill towards the beaver bogs and swampy area, northerly and parallel to Mahoney Road that is part of the watershed sloping downhill from Church Street. Diane DeBazio reiterated the point that one road committee member, one select board member can attend the bid committee formal meeting and fulfill the quorum requirements needed to vote, regardless of Alan McNeil's attendance or not. Bozelli asked Wesley if we could adjourn this meeting, and Wesley said no. We need to discuss change. Wesley stated that he was resigning from the chairman position on this road committee. I am resigning in favor of Al Bozelli taking the position and basically like switching positions with him. Diane stated it will have to be voted on, and Wesley agreed. Dave seconded the motion, and Wesley asked all in favor with a unanimous decision on the voting members. Wesley explained due to hearing impairments, compensation is difficult, and it's not fair to people when I cannot properly communicate with them verbally. The new chairman, Bozelli, made a motion to adjourn, and Diane asked if we could set a date for the next meeting. Al said we can't due to unscheduled bid committee times at this and the direction from the select board. Dave stated that we could tentatively schedule one for next Monday and cancel it if the process isn't complete. Al agreed, and the meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
I think we accept them.
No,
There's one thing that got left out. I asked John for the subdivision. Do you mind telling us what it cost for his road down through? And he told us how much it cost, and You remember what it was?
Yeah, it was 200 it was a high, just under $300,000 the first part, and another 30-something thousand the second time for the tar and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a brand new road, that was all.
I just said, it.
Yeah, we can put that in the minutes,
Which road? The Green Acres?
Subdivision road.
the subdivision.
Oh, how much?
I asked him, right after I asked him about, about the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I asked, this was
200,000?
200-something thousand the first time, and then high 30s, the second part, they had new tar up top and stuff.
Okay.
Just to get a comparison, because it was kind of the same length of work.
Yeah, that's, and he over-engineered it too, so
Plus
we're
he
not
went-
probably gonna
plus
follow
he
the
went
steps.
from- Plus he went from scratch.
Honestly,
Yeah, so we'll put that in the minutes,
I will,
so, we accept the,
with changes.
the changes. Is there any more complaints? We're gonna do the new business. We only have one for old business.
I had a complaint the other day of Danielle Green. She held me down on the Berry Road, and she's asking for a sign, children at play, and a blind driveway to be put up.
Who orders the signs, the selectmen? You guys order the signs?
No, Leanne orders the signs. And I asked her the other day about them, and she said they usually cost around $30-40, but it costs quite a bit for shipping. So she's gonna check with, that sign place down in Auburn beside Burger King. She's gonna check there, see what they charge.
Do we still have the rods up there, the signposts out there that we had?
For what?
There was a bunch of signposts that,
Yeah, they're down the drive.
just curious.
The only signs we have, I went and looked the other day, the only signs we have left out there is like single road ahead work area.
No, I mean, if somebody wants those signs and if you can help people, it's great to have signs.
Well, she said she has made a complaint for the last 2 years. And
Well, let's see if we can make it happen.
it hasn't got done, so I said, good, we'll check out and do it, check into it.
Is that you guys just,
Yeah, that's not up to us.
What's that?
that's a selection?
Yeah,
just
then we
do it?
usually goes out and puts them out.
So, okay, now we're gonna go into old business, so numerous times we talked about getting the signs all fixed that are all down lane and ditches, so I don't know how you're gonna accomplish that. We could suggest to get it done, Bim has to do it with his.
What's that thing?
The signs that are laying in the ditches, there's some signs like on top,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those gotta get up.
where do you see them?
There's one on Town Farm, the whole thing's in the ditch, I seen one. I don't even know how it came off the pole. It actually got unscrewed somehow,
Plow probably hit it too, maybe, or something.
I don't know, but I mean, sometimes the wind, if it keeps rattling it, and they didn't have locking nuts. But,
Plow might hit it up too.
Kathy Terrio, she said something about a sign too that needed to be fixed at the end of the road or something. So we need to try to get them done. And then we still have work, Ben wants to go out and work. We still have the coal patch that gotta go out there.
Yeah, it's been raining for the last couple of days here and there, so that's why he needs to cut out.
Yeah, I went down to Town Farm, and there's places on Town Farm that they already patched some of them, and then there's some of them, I don't know how they missed it, they didn't miss some holes. I don't know what he's gonna do with that hole on the top, where the gravel is. Like as you're going down over the hill, where we had that washout. I don't know if you're gonna put coal patch in there, dig it up, put coal patch in there, what's the deal over there?
Sometimes it's something that big, they just put it out and spread it out. It just gets there.
Right, right, but those are things he could be doing right now, and then there's a culvert on Honey Road.
Yes. The water is mining right around the whole side and it's,
So that's a 7-foot one? That's a 7-foot culvert.
That's Pratt Hill you were talking about. Talking Mahoney.
no, Mahoney.
Oh, Mahoney.
So it's eroded into the road about 3 feet and somebody's put trees and marking tape on it and that really, it's getting worse.
We don't need somebody to fall in that thing. So that's probably ASAP, that probably would be a priority.
Unless you can,
Yeah, I mean, you're the go-between, if he doesn't wanna come here, I hate to put you in that position.
he got back to me today, he will be with us Monday night.
Okay.
So I went out to, this old cemetery,
Mhm.
and if I remember right, to get that road ready for plowing, which we agreed to do, it needs a base on that, there's no gravel on that, it's all mud and metals.
Mm.
The whole way through.
We just
It's gonna be
don't,
done.
we need the money right now to finish this road first.
Right, but before plow season starts, we're gonna have to get that.
Something, we'll put something there, but I can't say we're gonna put that much gravel, we might just fill in the mud holes. You know, I haven't been out there, I'll take a ride out there, I haven't been over Randy's.
Yeah.
So I'll take a ride out there and look at it too, we all can go out and look at it, but we have to, the biggest one is, you know, we gotta deal with Pratt Hill.
Right, I just saw the gentleman today that lives out there and made me think of it too, because, you know, they're expecting to have plowing and be
Right.
another problem with.
The other thing, you were talking to them about, and it's not anything to do with the roads, is putting that bridge in down here.
Yeah.
Bugging out, you're talking about?
Right, it's been like 3 or 4 years, so. And people said it would help
Clubs probably will too.
On other repairs,
them. Yeah, go ahead.
we've got a complaint for Town Farm of that culvert. Is that been given to Bim to do?
Which one is that?
That driveway one,
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
at 260 Town Farm Road. I think it says it's 260. Barish.
Going up the
You
hill.
have something on it? You have
Yeah,
something
so,
to add to that one?
well, I just wanted to get some clarification. Is the town responsible for driveway culverts?
Nope.
Hmm?
No, the town replaces the first one. Like say if you need a culvert put in, the town puts it in. Then after the second one, then the landowner is responsible. But the town will put the first one in.
But this is a unique situation though, isn't it? Isn't this where he removed it while he was ditching and didn't replace it? And that, I think that was the whole question, wasn't it? I mean, he had a multiple driveway inlets into his property. This is on the lower side of, Town Farm. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know where it is.
It says
Did you say 260?
That's what it looks like, 260 Town Farm,
Yeah, I'm at 462, so I'm halfway.
unless it's 70.
So yeah, that would be, I think below the machine shop. Are we talking that slope?
Going down on the backside?
Yeah, going down south, and I think that was the whole issue. Wesley went and looked at it, and you couldn't determine whether or not where he was talking
Well,
about.
because I drove by today and I had the same
Is
question.
that the one where the washout was? Where the road,
That was two different ones.
That's a different, so that's on the road itself, I think is what. Are you talking about the culvert that's sinking?
no, I'm talking about going down on the backside from the steel, main western there, the steel place, going down on the backside. As you come around the corner on that hill, the road washed out right there.
Yeah.
And that guy's driveway's right there. So I'm wondering if that's the one.
Maybe, but what I was wondering is if that is the area, I was trying to figure it out, I couldn't. But it looks like some of that is that there's a lot of rock and ledge maybe, and they tried to ditch around it.
That could be.
And I think that contributed to, I don't know if he did something also to that, I
Could
couldn't.
be. I'll have to write up there.
Just, yeah, if you
I'll
look,
grab
I
it.
think we're talking about the same house. If you're going up right past his driveway, if you look where, like, all the dirt is patched, if you look right in that ditch, it's all rock and ledge, and it looks like it came out, undermined the road, and then blew that out, I think, but I don't know.
I'll grab him and take a ride up there tomorrow.
I think you get two different places mixed up.
I do too. I think there's two issues.
The first one, where the guy was complaining about, being messed up, his access to get wood out of his property, 2 or 3 places, I guess he used. That's a Taddy.
That's what,
His name was Craig Taddy. And this one is a different name, so it's not the same as what we,
so the first one, is that,
this is a new
is
one.
that headed up before you get to the big hill? From Hazel and Bob's side?
Yeah, up near the top, 2/3 of the way up probably. The house that's way off, I don't know if you can even see it from the road.
They got plastic stuff out there, like a greenhouse or something.
Yeah. I think that's the one that had the complaint about couldn't get his wood out with his
Oh,
truck.
yeah, okay, all right.
And this is a different name, a different place. I'm not sure where 260 is, but
So I think it's more than one access on the
Yes,
property.
you're right. So that one is Craig Tardif. And it does talk, so I looked at this one today and I couldn't figure out this one.
what's his number?
It does not state, he just said the culvert under the south end of Town Farm Road coming up from 219, just after the machinery junkyard on the left. It was either partially plugged or size insufficient for the last rainstorm. The runoff was high enough to crest the knoll and head down the roadside to reach Bugganout. This impacted 2 of my property access roads.
So that doesn't sound like a second parcel of driveway, is it?
You probably have to go and let him show you what the heck he's talking about.
Maybe, because it's not super clear when you drive down, because I was looking at this one and that one, and
Why are you saying go to the bucket? That's the weird.
I wrote up that one myself, and I tried to see if there was a visible wheel tracks off the road where he could have been using before. I couldn't find anything really. I mean, if he has used it, it's been a long time, because everything was untouched looking. But
If that's the same, I don't know if this is the same guy or not, but years ago, when I was road commissioner, we had just put that big culvert in, the double twin culvert in. And he owned the land, like where if you want to go up to the tracks, above the bridge on the right. You know what I mean? You can go to the railroad track. from
Right,
there.
right, yeah.
Beyond the bridge is a right hand, I don't know if they still use that or not, but he owns that,
that's
going out there.
that's his wood bar.
And we did replace a culvert out there. But I wonder if that's what he's talking about, if this is the same guy.
That used to be a snowmobile trail too, right? That went along it until the guy put that house in next to the river. That stopped that.
Bird hall.
Yeah,
Well, they can't use that access going to the tracks
no more.
from Town Farm Road. Probably because he owns that land. and-
Right.
I don't know if that's what he's talking about or not, but,
That used to be a pretty good road going in there.
oh yeah, I was going up now.
I doubt that Craig owned both sides of the road. I really doubt that. He could, but I don't think he does.
You know, these guys are, and I don't want to get off subject, but I gotta mention something here. Kathy probably knows it. The silt that's going into Bear Pond, if you think about it, the brook that goes by my house and goes down in the woods and comes out down here, there used to be a pond back there. You could walk across that brook now, it's running under the ground because it just erodes, keeps eroding the ground. And I don't know the last time you were out there, but the last time I was out there, I could walk across it, hear the water running. And I remember people telling me they used to catch trout in that pond. There's no pond no more. There's barely a brook you can see. And that's just all, and that's not from the road, it's just erosion from the ground, from the banks in the gravel, so there's not too much you can do to
Well,
stop
that's the
it.
same thing on Bailey Road, not too far up, that brook that crosses the road right there. You look on the right hand side of that brook, and the banks are just ate right out, and you see the roots of the trees.
Well, you
It's
should
so
see,
bad.
you should see how bad it was up in Baxter.
I
I mean,
think
you're
a lot of
talking,
this is going into the ponds,
right,
too.
So will you see if Ben will go with you and figure out those complaints?
and what about getting them to do the culvert on the Mahoney Road?
Yeah, I'll have a look at that too. Is that on the dirt path?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I see that the other day, went by there.
it's near 308. Oh, sorry, no, line.
And we're gonna have to get some.
Near pole 76. You can't miss it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some grading going pretty quick.
oh, yeah.
So he's got some work to do, so.
Will he be doing the grading?
We have a budget to keep in mind as well,
Right.
so these little jobs can add up quick. So I'm hoping that it's a recommendation to go and look, get numbers, prioritize,
Mhm.
see what we can do and what we can't.
Well, the ones we, like the culvert we have, if it's starting to wash into the road, that's like, has to be done.
Yeah, there's like a few things that I agree we've got to do before.
It sounds like there's a good list of needs,
Right,
and I guess you guys need to determine what's the neediest of needs.
that's
And
why
we
we're,
need a number before we just start hitting off half a dozen, 7, 8, 9 jobs, and then there's no money to do anything else. So I'm trying to be smart here with work that's overdue.
we got an idea of some of these costs, like the culverts aren't that bad. We have culverts, we just gotta put them in.
So would you like us to compose a list?
We already give you permission to go out and do the full package.
Okay.
Right,
He's got-
Minus that, but I mean like to provide the selectmen for your next meeting, the things that are kind of an urgent
Yes,
need.
please.
And then,
yeah, Ben could tell you about how much it's gonna cost to put the culvert in.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So we have our regular scheduled meetings every other Tuesday. We alternating Tuesdays designated for specifically road work, so that we can work with the money and try to bust out as much as
So
we
we'll
can.
have, having one this coming Tuesday coming up?
Correct.
What
And
time is that gonna
1
be?
hour
6:30.
specified for roads only. That is the agenda.
And you'd like a
So like,
detailed priority on what we think
Yes,
needs to
please.
be done
Yes, please.
specifically?
Dave could give you that in the minutes, because we just spit them out.
maybe it's easier if we compile a list, provide it to the selectmen, and then Kathy can take them around to estimate all of these. Would that be the easiest?
We can't just go in and bust out carrying jobs with
Know that.
less much budget, so.
I know, he's already got permission to go do the
Co-pack.
Right, you gotta do the
He's
callback
got 2
and,
loads of coal patch to put out.
and the grading.
Huh?
And the grading.
Yes, and that's about it.
I challenged the grading because in one meeting it was the grader isn't fit, and then the next meeting it
I
was.
spoke to him about it. He thinks it's gonna cost a lot more money than have someone bring a grader over here. He said they probably wouldn't do it for less than $500 to bring a grader over there. And I'm gonna turn around and pay him probably $100 an hour to do it. And he informed me that he was perfect, him and the grader get along perfectly, he knows the grader inside out. And he says there's no reason why he can't grade the roads without a grader.
I wouldn't trust anybody else running that grader.
No, he operate it?
He knows that grader inside
I
out.
know he knows how to operate,
Right.
that's why I was asking if he will be operating.
I don't know what it costs to grade all the dirt roads in
It
the
just goes
town.
by the hour. I don't
Right.
know how, I don't know how many
I know
hours.
90% of the roads, when we do the budget, it's like 500.
That's just the miscellaneous stuff, just to keep them,
Right, I figured some of that might be up to grading, right?
that's all that is.
Right. So that's been kind of budgeted already, I believe.
Right, I mean,
But I
just
mean,
go by the hour, they go by.
people are, I mean, right now, I had a few complaints, I don't care about, it's not too bad for me on Tucker Road, but I did have some complaints on Tucker Road. I think one of them was you.
So with the grading, Bim's obviously done it for many years, could he, obviously he knows how many miles of dirt road he has, could he estimate, like, it's gonna take 3 days or 2 days? It's probably over 3 days, but
Yeah,
is that
probably.
something he could estimate? That way we could figure out,
Probably, but I don't know if he could really estimate how many hours. That's hard to, I don't know.
Usually you'll get like 2 more grades in before winter.
Yes, he likes to do it. It's good to do it right before the ground freezes.
You wanna hold off?
we've got some really bad roads.
I think probably won't hold off. I was, I went down the Cowett Road the other day, because there's some questions asked about the Cowett Road, Darrington Road, and Davenport Road.
Yeah, they're bad.
And I wrote, this was when he had Brandon go out, when Ben was in the hospital, to go around these roads. And this was before this prioritized, itemized crap come out of the woodwork. So they went and got them jobs. And I went out behind him to see if he actually did those jobs. And I went up the Cowett Road, and I went to turn around at Mrs. Cowett's place, and I run into his name, Ian, one of her sons, and I asked him if Brandon had been up there. And he says, yeah, he has. He says, but now we've had another rainstorm, and the hills got rutted up again, going down to the bridge. So yeah, with these rains and everything, there's probably still some more.
Connecticut got hammered, I don't know if you've seen my
Oh, the
post.
hills.
Connecticut got hammered, I mean, big shopping centers got washed out, bridges got washed out.
You guys need your powers today?
No. Where my daughter lives in Connecticut in the valley, the whole valley got flooded out. And it was pretty much close to the same thing as in 1955.
We skip back to grading on our roads. You said you took a ride up Darrington and Davenport. There's been quite a bit of erosion, so coming down from Darrington on that corner to Davenport, there's no ditch on if you're coming down the right side, and it's running, just washing the whole road out.
Okay, so you mean coming down Darrington Road down over the hill?
And if you
If
went
you
to,
took a right to Davenport Road?
yeah, that has no ditch, and it's just all running down, and it's eroding fairly bad. So I didn't know if while you're taking him out, if you could see if, because it seems kind of, we're not making much headway, we can grade it, but if we still have no ditches.
Any other roads, Kathy, you think of that need any kind of material on them before snow?
The only ones I heard of him saying that it needed material, and that was the part of Darrington Road, the old part that just kind of more or less trying to get together before plowing, just,
I have a question, so I went up there, where does the town road stop and the private driveways stop?
At Jasper's house, the last house on the left, going up the top of the hill.
No, so I mean, like,
People's barn,
that end,
people's barn, right to people's barn.
so it goes over the culvert, so we're plowing their property, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. We got to get an easement from them to turn around up there. And they said they would gladly sign it. Just like we had to get an easement on Camp Road from Paul,
Burner.
Erna. And we have to get another easement from LaBessa LaFoy up there for the school bus to turn around and the plows. Well, there ain't no school bus up there anymore, but the plows.
Now, I heard somebody mention that he could plow with a 1-ton up that road.
Darrington Road? Darrington Road, yes. They'll go up there with the 1-tons until we get so much snow that he has to take the big trucks up to
Push it back.
push bags back.
I'm just wondering, because the budget, you know, after we take the bond payment out, we're around 180,000. We've already put 78,000 into that road, which that road was not budgeted for that money. So I'm wondering if we can
You're
somehow,
thinking, was it really that much spent up there?
yes,
What if you
Yes.
We have got nothing. No. Oh.
And I think it was actually.
Okay, probably some of that too is FEMA. I think
it
that-
doesn't look like we've been reimbursed by
That
FEMA.
70-something thousand is,
We haven't got anything for FEMA yet.
We have not got anything.
I don't know, the 70-something thousand is the whole Darrington Road. It's not from Jasper's up, the old part. It's the whole road. He did a lot of work up there, ditches and culverts, replacement.
All the way down to
All the
Stetson.
way from
Stetson.
Stetson Road, all the way up through. So that 70-something thousand didn't just come from Jasper's up to the old road, up to the farm. That's the whole complete down
Well,
the
hopefully the money will come in.
Well, it doesn't look like we're gonna get, it was like $202
Yeah, that's
that we're gonna
low.
get, then 32 something, and then it's not till next year that we're getting the large sum.
I think we got
Like
three or,
into,
I think it's three or four roads that they're pending.
yes. Yeah, they're not approved. It's
So you don't know how they're pending.
So you're talking
So
about
we-
2023 claims not being paid this year in 2025, perhaps?
Oh, it's
That's
a definite 2025, because on that email that Leanne sent out, there was the 2 payments that have been approved, which is like the,
3,000, something like that. small.
yeah, minimal, and then the major amount of money is pending for next year. So that's why I'm just worried about trying to make sure we can stay within that budget to get this accomplished, because, you know, we do, Pratt Hill is our priority, along with all our other little things.
Once we have this meeting, we figure out where we're going with it. We have somebody that'll help us with the bid specs. We already have somebody besides ourselves. We're not gonna, Wesley's done a great job. He could tell you how much gravel.
Okay, I got a question for you guys.
But
Okay,
I want to back up just a minute though, for that place where Jasper's, where there's no ditch. The grader can make a ditch.
Yes,
yeah,
I said you don't have to go up there with an excavator.
right, I can do yes.
And when they grade the roads, they should be cleaning out the ditches with a grader, bringing it up into the road, and then grading the roads and flatten it back up flat, crowning it back over. So there's a lot that can be done with a grader that should be done. And Ben knows how to do all that stuff. He's a 40-year veteran of taking care of roads, so nobody wants to try to say that he doesn't know how or doesn't have the ability, because he says himself he's a expert at it, basically. So I just want to make sure that we're not trying to make something out of nothing. And he can do the work with a grader that will do most of our stuff that needs to be done. Thank you.
I'm a little confused about, the first meeting we had, you laid out the fact that, town-owned grader was in dire need of tires and probably brakes.
I mentioned that to Ben about the tires,
That would
and
be-
said, he said the tires really wasn't,
an issue.
nothing really wasn't an issue.
Probably
He said it's
buy
not
some.
like it's not like he's trying to go through mud with it or something like that, you know, trying to get through, so.
Right.
They're probably really not an issue until he has a flat.
But I'd also like to take our attention back to that first meeting when we stated that there was a guy from Fairfield that would do it hourly for $130 an
That'd
hour
be
man
Ron
machine.
from Northeast Paving.
And he could crown it, it was his own equipment, and he thought he stated that he could probably do all of our roads in 3 or 4 days. And we're not going down that path anymore.
Well, can I say something?
That's not our decision.
Right, but
That's-
But
that's our
what
recommendation.
Wesley said was, he doesn't want anybody else to run the grader. Bill wants to run the grader, fine, but we will not put anybody else in that grader. Because we don't wanna have the
Liability.
responsibility of the
Right,
liability.
right.
period.
He knows that grader inside and
Right, so
out.
if he doesn't wanna do it, then we'll go with option
He
number
says
2.
if he does it, if he can do it without own grader, we only be paying his hourly wage.
Right.
Which,
What it brought up this thing was that when Ben was in the hospital, this road should have been graded. And West Hutchins is,
Canton and
somebody
Sumner,
said he does them for 2 towns or 3 towns.
Canton and Sumner.
Roads. So I said, local board, throw him on the grader and let him stand in on it. But
Yeah, he's used ours before.
he refused to run that grader. That's where this came from. And he recommended going to Jim's and renting a grader. He could do it with a good grader. Or with somebody else found this guy that does the grading before they pay. And he's by the hour, he's the operator of his own grader. So that's where that all came from. And if Ben is willing to run that old grader and do a good job with it,
Yeah, no,
I
he
have
says
no problem with that.
he says he can do it.
That motor's only 10 years old, right?
Well, that came out.
Back in the 70s.
72.
That came out.
72.
Yeah, we did a motor on that.
And the whole question was, make sure we pull the gravel from the ditching and crown the roads like Barrington that needs it.
Yeah, there's
That
no
water
ground.
runoff.
It's
And that's our whole issue. And if you can do it with that antique equipment, go at it, Mr. Allen. I mean, that'd be a beautiful thing to keep it in the family.
The Darrington Road, grader isn't gonna do much for that right now, because you don't have much to work with, let's put it that way.
It needs fill,
So the grader,
fill time.
the grader, he's already ditched it anyway, or he had last time doing it. And there's not much material for the grader.
Well, that lower section's like 4 lanes wide.
Well,
Holy crap.
how about we let Bim and Kathy go out and maybe he can estimate and say what he has to have for gravel on certain roads?
It's the only one I've heard you say about is the Darrington Road. You know, after further in. There's a couple soft spots up there, you know, it gets muddy and like he said, what did he say, 800 yards, but that's just a rough estimate.
For Darrington.
It might only take 500, it's just a rough estimate.
Yeah, it's just almost $22,000+
If we-
only in material.
Hmm.
If we could hurry up and get this big package together so we know what's going on. So we'll work on that Tuesday, get it to you guys. We're gonna go back and look at it. We have to go
Probably
back.
gonna take more than one time.
Right, we're gonna have to go back and look at it. But we do have somebody that wants to help us write the bid package.
An advisor.
You're
But
gonna
that
buy
can
it.
be discussed at the big.
Yeah, we'll discuss it there. But I'm not smart enough to do it.
Neither am I, and neither's Ben, he's already said,
Right.
he's already said,
But we have
neither
some-
either.
We have somebody smarter than us.
Okay, my question is, this is more likely gonna happen. My question is, we get this bid specs all put together,
Right.
we put it out to bid.
Yeah.
I've already, Andy Levesque has already contacted me asking me to get in touch with him when this goes out. If he wants to, of course, he wants to put a bid in, right? He's the one that did pipes up here.
Right.
Quickly. Okay, so we put a bid package out. And say we probably get, say if say if Andy's the only one that bids on it. Okay, say he bids 175, 200,000. What are we gonna do then?
We have other people that are gonna bid besides him though. I bet.
I'm just saying, for example, if we don't,
Well, we don't use the bid, we don't take the bid.
You have the right to reject or.
Right,
any-
right.
Any bid. period.
Right, and if it comes down to the point of having to do it, I think we have some people that might do it pretty reasonable. I don't know, I don't have no crystal ball.
and we don't know either.
So
But we'll-
I mean,
we'll
this is
see.
something we're trying, okay? I don't have no crystal ball,
Virgin ground.
so let's see what happens. Well, we gotta get it done, it's not all gonna get done this year, I don't believe. So we'll see.
We should have had these weekly meetings way before this.
Right.
We should have had it because way back then.
Well, we could,
When Bill was in the hospital, you guys had come up with something that come to us. And we have to say something, and then have to go back to you guys, and just go back and forth, back and forth. and
but
nothing
these
gets
guys
done.
tried to.
Well,
go out
our
and
first
talk to-
meeting wasn't until,
Right,
Right, so we tried, but we're a stalemate, so now maybe we'll get it going, I don't know. Just bring a shot glass with you.
well, I think we can't go backwards, so we gotta go forward.
Right. We're trying our best.
Should we complete like suggestions on the road so we can submit that to the selectmen so Kathy can talk with
Sure.
them and get, just so we can.
Sure, you wanna do it right now?
Well, we're gonna have to
Well,
put
we don't
it
wanna.
all
Huh?
together tonight so we can provide it to them for Tuesday, or
Right.
require to.
Yeah.
You pretty much got all the notes there, so. You wanna do it right now, we'll do it.
Sure. Does
Yeah.
anyone else have any,
Well-
riding around, any concerns? So,
We already talked about them all,
okay.
and everything we talked about, you needed to write it.
Can we also, while you're out, we'll get that on, but I'd like to look at the Berry Road culvert, that right at the intersection where it's coming from Bear Mountain going out to Little Bear. The culvert itself is fine, but where it's coming down from Bear Mountain, it's eroding so bad in there, there is not a whole lot of riprap, there's no slowing of
is that
water.
the one I'm talking about, where on the lower side of it, it's eaten away from the banks?
Yes, so it's kind of, there's a whole lot of dirt and sand and silt that's going, because there's not really any good berms in there with rocks, it's just shooting out. And I'd like to add that to the list to look at, because I think that is contributing. There was a very nice couple that took me out in their boat on Little Bear. And I looked at Google Maps for that dirt that is coming down. Clearly, all of it is not coming from Pratt Hill, it's coming from a lot of the
Oh,
streams
yeah,
and
it is.
tributary. But I think that is a fairly large component too, but I think if we can get riprap in there, that will slow at least riprap on the other side to keep the banking, the trees together. And then on the other side, you can just see where it's again starting to erode. And then
Yeah.
kind of more riprap, because it's sort of, there isn't a whole lot from the road.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just before rain, snow.
Write me a list on,
Put it on the list and then we'll vote on it, and then we'll hand it to her.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't really have a lot on that list, it's not that big.
no, but I mean, the only thing he's gonna, the only
Well, at
thing-
least you're gonna get it in writing.
Yes, but the only thing he's gonna tend to is, coal patch and,
Signs,
coal patch and sort of the two signs and greater work.
Well, do you want me to talk about it and I can email that? Is that
Yeah,
appropriate?
you can do that too, you can email it to me.
Is that
Yeah,
appropriate
that'd be
to do
appropriate,
that
yeah.
way? I'm sorry, I was taking other notes on.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're just trying to give them information.
Just something I won't forget, so I won't forget.
Right.
You're talking about the Berry Hill culvert project?
Berry Hill.
Ju-
Holy
Not
Road.
just the Berry Hill, not the Pratt, anything.
No, plus you're talking about the culvert on Mahoney Road.
Is that at the four-way intersection down at the bottom of Mahoney where Pratt Hill comes down? Is that, where the hell's Berry Hill? I guess I'm
Yeah,
confused.
so Mahoney, well, if you're coming from Church Street, you come down Mahoney,
Yeah.
Pratt's on your right.
Yeah.
Then that turns right into Berry, right there is a big
Oh.
culvert.
Yes, there's one going across the Bear Mountain Road that's completely clogged, that comes downhill on the eastern side of Mahoney, and it crosses over under Bear Mountain Road where, now, who's the people that have the Airbnb, Norma? Where
Normal
her
house.
property is,
Yeah.
Norma House, well, that intersection right there, that culvert's just completely plugged on the south end of that culvert going towards, still on the opposite side of Berry Road in Mahoney Road than the lake. So it looks like the ditch really doesn't even go anywhere. I mean, I inspected that a couple of months ago. So but that's not the culvert in question now.
No,
Which one are you talking about?
It's the big one that goes under Berry Road from Bear over to Little, or from coming down Bear Mountain.
We'll be further up that road, the dirt road.
Is it by the parking lot where they do the walk
Yeah, past there,
past
on the
there?
Bear Mountain Road.
Cemetery.
You know where cemetery is?
We,
That big culvert right there.
I don't know that we're talking about the same culverts.
no, but you
I'm
know.
pretty sure we are not.
But you're talking about, you know what you're talking about. so
We gotta
put
get a
it-
map out.
Put it.
Sorry.
Put it right in.
I need technical info.
The hole you're talking about?
I think I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the little one.
The four-way
that
intersection.
crosses right there at the intersection.
Yeah,
You're talking about that one right there, that
Yeah.
crosses the dirt road.
and you're talking further down towards Big Bear.
Yes,
You're heading southerly on that Berry Road at that point, and you go
Yes.
past Chad Casey's excellent
no, no, no,
place.
no.
Oh, way back,
You're still
way,
before
literally,
that.
literally, if you stop and you look, Pratt Hill's right here on your right.
Yeah.
The big culvert's right here in front of you across Bear Road, right there.
Okay. All right.
All right, so
Does anyone have anything else that we should add to this to provide?
we have it all, everything we said, that's what we need to get done. You guys in agreement to let her ship it off to these guys?
Of course. You know when you're going back to Pratt Hill again, so we can all go together?
Yeah, first we'll have to have this meeting, and then we'll go down there. So I will definitely call you. Yeah, and we'll all get together, but first we have to have the meeting with the selectmen and do this thing for the bid committee.
Are we gonna set another meeting?
Well, we're gonna be doing the bid stuff on Tuesday, right?
Monday?
Monday,
Just before the select board meeting.
all right, so once we do that, then we'll. Then the select board meeting is gonna be Tuesday, so how about if we do on Wednesday, another meeting?
Is that the last, is that the day of the ordinance? When,
Yeah, there's something going
I
on.
think that's the
I think
an
it's-
ordinance,
I think it's waste.
solid waste, it's
It's
one of
Yeah,
them.
something is.
They need decision, so.
Can you do 2 meetings?
One night there's, there's the, activities,
I know, I don't,
yeah, 20.
I think I got the select. Hold on.
Kathy, do we have any town maps in here, of roads and shit, so we can fucking locate culverts? No?
So-
Excuse my language.
Recreation is 826, what are we? Then solid waste is 828. That's the only thing, so Yeah, so recreation is 26, solid waste is 8/28. This coming Monday is the bid committee meeting at 6:30, then the selectmen Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna draw a map so we can figure out what we're talking about. Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
That's what I'm drawing a map. What map do you want?
Well, we did draw on that.
Okay. Hey, crap, I'm not an artist. So I don't, I guess, maybe do we check in with Leanne?
Yeah,
Is there a problem to have them in the kitchen,
no,
doing their thing while these guys are here?
no.
So if you wanted to do it Wednesday night, you certainly could.
How many was there on the list? Committee?
5?
Those guys are 5.
Yeah, they always have it in there. Oh, no, that there's 5 people, but they meet at 6:30.
Right. So let's get our date straight again, because I'm confused.
All right, so what are we? So we're the 21st, right?
The
It would
21st,
be the 28th.
and then the 28th.
So they meet at 6:30. And you said it's okay to do 2,
And what,
you wanna do the
what date is the select board? I know it's Tuesday, but what date is that?
27th.
That'd be the 29th, the next day.
27th. So we got
29th is
21st is what we're gonna do together.
Monday, the bid committee,
Right.
Tuesday, selectmen meeting. Wednesday, you wanna get together again, bid committee,
Right.
we can't keep all these meetings straight.
So the bid committee is doing Monday and Wednesday? Okay,
Yeah, Monday and Wednesday, but we're gonna have to get out there. We're gonna have to get back out
So
there.
we can do that? I don't know, don't matter to me.
What if we do it during the day on the 28th?
What day is that?
That would be Wednesday.
That's what we were saying all along.
Right, I mean, for us to go to look at it again,
Oh,
if we could put that together. Want to get together and do it on Wednesday? I don't know, it's up to these guys, I'm free all day on Wednesday. You gotta talk to the other guy that wants to go with us too. So we'll get it all together. So we got
If you listen to food matters.
the 21st, 27th, the 28th, and the 28th, we got 2. We're gonna meet twice. We're gonna meet to go look at it, and then we're gonna meet to talk about it. And hopefully we'll have it together. It's a lot of work to get done.
all right, so Monday and Wednesday are bid, when are we doing a round
Yes,
committee meeting?
most of the work.
Are we doing Thursday?
Monday the 26th, you're doing the bids.
Yeah, then Tuesday is yours, Wednesday they wanna do the bid committee again.
They want bid or road?
They said bid,
You want bid, you know?
Wednesday, then again, 2
I
times.
just wanna get it done. Just get
No. Meeting Monday.
Yeah.
Evening, for the first time.
and that's at 6:30. So Wednesday, is that a site visit
Yeah.
for the bid committee?
Yeah, we're gonna go over it again, and we'll get all our figures in a row to give to the select board. And hopefully we can get enough guidance to make it right.
Okay.
And what time do you wanna meet down there? 12 o'clock when we go do the site thing? On Wednesday?
Yeah, I'll ask them.
Would it be better morning or an afternoon instead of dead center of the day? I'm just
It's
saying.
weather forecast.
We're not gonna be out there that long, it's not gonna, What we did the other day is we actually walked up and down the hill and.
It wasn't fair. Can we do like in the morning or in the
Yeah,
afternoon, just so we
I
are.
would love, let's do it at 9 o'clock, how about 9 o'clock?
Beautiful. On the 28th, Wednesday, is that?
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
0900.
Are we setting a meeting for the road?
Yeah, Wednesday night.
You wanna do
Right after.
bid and,
We're gonna go down there and look at it, and then we'll have the road committee meeting.
we can't, we aren't blending the two, right?
No.
No,
No,
Just do the site work Wednesday at 9 and then meet that's bids and then roads committee.
So
right.
are you saying you wanna do a bid meeting also Wednesday night and?
I would rather just do the bid meeting on Wednesday night.
Okay, so when do you wanna do road committee?
We could do it the following week. There's not much we can do with it, we're giving them work to do, unless something comes up that we don't have more.
So when, do you wanna wait then? Do you wanna we'll give Kathy and the selectmen the list of
This stuff here.
roads for them to review Tuesday night and hope then prior to that Kathy can get them out to kind of estimate some stuff,
Right.
present that, and then work on the bid, because that's the most important,
Right.
and then try to figure out a road committee meeting after.
It could be 2 weeks from now, doesn't have to be right. Because we don't have nothing to work on, we just gave them everything.
I just want to be able to tell Leanne a date so she can get it up, because
Yeah.
there's so many food
Okay.
pantries, ATV, like, there's so many things that want to meet here.
Well, we should have it, if we have another road committee meeting, we should have it either prior to the select board meeting or after the select board meeting.
you won't wanna do it after.
Huh?
I don't believe you wanna do any meetings after.
No, we'll do it
You
before that.
can't tell, sometimes they get over at 8, sometimes 9:30.
No, not at night, I'm saying the
No,
next
right.
day. Do you want it before I think we should do it before.
If you want to.
Later date.
Discuss it, yes.
So when would be, I mean, we're gonna meet on Tuesday with you guys, but we don't need to have another one prior to Tuesday.
No, not a road committee
No.
meeting, no. I just
So
want to
what if
be
we go
able,
to next-
either a week or two,
What if
to
we
let
go
Leanne.
what if we go in the middle of the month? Middle of September?
I just want to, it's just, if you look at that whiteboard, it gets filled up really quickly.
So let's go with, second week in September. What day is good for you guys?
So we'd probably choose a Monday, because the selectmen will meet Tuesdays.
Okay,
And
so the
sometimes
first,
ordinances are Wednesday.
Monday's a holiday, so the following
Yeah.
Monday.
Okay.
The following Monday, the
Yeah.
second Monday in September, we'll meet.
Unless you want to have, I don't know if you want to meet maybe the 30th, 29th.
I won't be here,
Okay.
I won't be here, definitely I won't be here.
Okay.
I'm headed out.
Well, I think after we give this list, Kathy and Bim can meet. She can get estimates with Bim, and then I think that will give a fairly good amount of work for the next few weeks, and then we can come up with a better game plan for a little,
So-
not less urgent stuff.
So what is the second, Monday, what's that date?
No.
Time 9?
9 to 4.
So the 9th at 7 p.m.
Yeah. I can tell you guys, this has been very enjoyable, because we're actually doing stuff. I think we're getting stuff done. And everybody's participating, and that's what I like, because not everybody has all the answers.
All right. Do you have more on our agenda?
Nope, I could say that, I'm ready to adjourn this meeting. You have something?
We can adjourn the meeting and then say it. Okay.
All right, so I make a motion to adjourn this meeting. You want a second?
Second.
Okay,
All in favor?
Okay. My concern is all of the rumors and stories that are going around about everybody that's to do with town business. And it is getting a little old to hear the same thing over and over again. That Ben didn't get his money. To my
hey, wait a
knowledge,
second, hang on, you want to shut this off? Oh, go ahead.
to my knowledge, I get two select people here. We don't have a BIM account, do we?
Don't have a what?
A BIM account. We have roads, we have schools, we have all kinds of things, but there is no such thing as BIM money. It's town's money until it's spent on something, as far as I know. So this BIM money is garbage. And the other thing is that we don't want the selectmen and the road committee don't want them doing roads. That's not true because we come up with that estimate to help him give us an idea, or a better idea of what he would do on that road and how much it would cost. And Kathy and I went up to his place to talk to him about it and to offer him help if he wanted to make one out, if there was any problems with it. And he politely refused and said he was not interested. So it's not, we gave him a first chance at it before anybody else even had a chance. So I don't know how people are saying we don't want him when he himself took himself out of it.
I'm grateful to hear that it sounds like he's willing, it sounds like now he's willing.
Well, and that could be. And then I've heard that it's the road committee's fault, it's the select people's fault. It's no one person. The business of the town should be run like a business. And it wasn't necessarily running that way before. And now we're trying to bring it over into a category where it should be, where people are accountable for the money and where it goes and it's well spent. And if people can't get along with that idea, because it's your tax money that we're talking about, and then I think that we need to settle down and realize that we're trying to work towards a goal of getting the most for our money that we can get. And everybody, as far as I know, whether it be the budget committee, the select people, or the road committee, all agreed that we needed to have something to go by, which is what came up with this cost estimate to do a job. And then people said, well, Ben's not able to do that. He don't have. He's got 40 years of doing it. Don't tell me he doesn't know how to guess, or guesstimate, or estimate how to fill one of them out. I would hope that if he's learned in 40 years how to do that. And he has to because he gives figures out for what he'll do a job for. And he can't just throw a number out there and say, that's what it's gonna cost. How do you get there?
There's people out there to help us,
So-
willing to help us, so if we can get the help, he should have been able to get the help.
I think to
So
think,
anyway, to bottle it all up, I guess we all share the blame, if that's what you wanna call it. Blame for, you can blame the budget committee, the select people, and the road committee who want to get the most for our dollar that's out there. And if that's blame, we're all to blame equally. Because I don't think anybody would disagree with that theory. Every time I've ever mentioned it, nobody stood up and hollered and said, no, we don't want to save money, we don't want to be efficient and effective. So that's one thing that I hope there's a lot of people listening today, tonight, and realize that these things are not funny, but funny, it seems true. They're it's a hate thing. You either hate or you love. That's what they think. And that's not the way town is run. The town runs on practicality and trying to get few money. So,
I believe, like I said at the beginning, this networking that we did tonight was like, it was the best we had in a long time. I've networked a lot with other people and with the bees and whatnot, and it works out really well because you get everybody's input. We got some pretty smart people here.
With that said, well said, I think we all recognize that we don't build roads, we don't do ditches. We do rely on the road commissioner for that information. Also, along with some of the negativity, also wanted to kind of remind people that Pratt Hill has been on our agenda since 2018. If anybody would like to look at those notes, they are online. And it has been since 2018 that this has been looked at, and there were 2.5 years that nothing was done. Road money was spent elsewhere. So this wasn't a new committee problem, a new selectman problem. This has been a problem, an expense that we've been trying to figure out for many years. But we do want to work with Ben. That's not anything that, there's not one single person, I think, that has said they do not want to work with Ben. His work has been good. We all appreciate that. We know that. And I agree with Wesley that I hope that people can look at the facts in front of them and that we all want to do what's best for this town, best for the people, and also our road commission.
We don't want to fail this road again. We got to get this done. I believe we could do it with the people that we have on board.
Thank you.
I thank you guys.
Well said, thank you for everything you do.
All right, let's call it location. Can someone draw this culvert location on Ferry Road for me?
And show where that goes.
See, this is Mahoney Road, Pratt Hill, Ferry